Hey, Soul Train Cruisers, and welcome back. This is your virtual cruise host, Jason Venner, along with the three faces and voices you know so well from the cruise, Mr. Tony Cornelius, Miss Angela Stribling, and of course, Jerry Wells. Today, we are going to talk about an event. I think this is a cool event. You know, one of the things about the Soul Train Cruise is we do our best to really broaden out, and we want to encompass something for everybody. It's important. We do the gospel shows, we do the game shows, we do the theme nights. We try to do something that's for everybody. This specific event we're going to talk about today is not for Tony or myself or Jerry. In fact, we've never been invited, have we, Tony or Jerry? We haven't even been
Never
invited to
invited.
this.
Never
Never
invited. I
invited.
understand why I haven't even been invited, but I haven't been invited.
The guest list apparently is tough to get on. We've stood in line. We've been asked to move to the back. I don't know. We of course are talking about the women's seminars that we do, and the face of the women's seminar is with us right here, Angela. Tell us a little bit about the women's seminar and what it means, or what it means. That's not fair. What you see it mean to the guests, what the event kind of encompasses. Because when you hear women's seminar, it can be a lot of things, but as the face of it, you have a pretty good take on exactly what it is.
You know what? It's one of the things I so look forward to every year. It's an opportunity for women of all walks of life, whoever is on that cruise and wants to attend is invited. So yes, there's gender bias. No boys allowed.
I've tried to sneak in the back. I've tried to sneak in the back, and I've gotten like tisked and sent out of the room. I'm one of the hosts of the cruise, and I'm in the back just checking to make sure everything. And they're like, "Go sit down." All right, sorry.
And that's the cameraman, and they're looking at him.
Yeah,
He even gets the side eye. But it's so good. I mean, last year we had Jean Carne and Madame Butterfly, and what I'll do is I'll come up with a topic and just have everyone, however they want to address it, just deal with it. And I'll, usually, as I just said, I have Jean Carne and Madame Butterfly on the panel with me, and we start the conversation. So I think last year we talked about self-care, and many of us are, at the age where we're taking care of our parents. So now we're the parents of our parents. And that's a big deal. If you are a caregiver of any type, it's a hard, sometimes lonely road. And another year we had Regina Bell on, and she's one of the, I guess, spokespersons for AARP, and she was talking about all the things that women have at their disposal, you know from them. Another year we had Shaka Khan and Melba Moore, and the topic was, what do you want? What do women want? And it sounds so simple, but oh my gosh, there was not a dry eye in the house by the time it was over. And Shaka and Melba started, and they got real personal. They just opened up about what was going on in their personal lives. I mean, to the point of tears. And because they were so transparent about it, the audience just went nuts. And, it's always packed because word got around that it's all women and that we can just be ourselves, our authentic selves. And, as a woman, there's nothing like your good girlfriends, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how much you love your man and everything's going good, or if it's not going so good, you need that good girlfriend. I mean, someone who you really love and trust, who has your back and is going to give you good advice, not the haters who pretend to be your friends, but real girlfriends. And that's what the women's seminar represents, even though we walk in there not knowing each other, but by the time we leave, we are, crying on each other's shoulders and talking about what's really going on in our lives. So,
Listen, my wife is gone. I know that. And she comes back and doesn't tell me anything that went on there. It's
right.
like, how did it go? She's like, I'm not talking to you about it. Jerry, how about your wife? Is your wife gone to the ladies'
She
seminar?
hasn't been yet. And I try to stave off any problem by keeping her with me all the time.
Yeah.
So
Very domineering. Yes, very domineering, Jerry. Well done. Yeah.
This reminds me, we should do a men's seminar. Now you got this women's seminar. We have to do
Yeah, what
But
could
you know, guys
possibly?
Every
feel
now
like,
and then we need to go into the tunnel and talk about what guys really feel, how they
we'll wind up talking
doing
about
what they should.
sports. You know that, right?
That'd be the shortest meeting in history. All right, so how does everybody feel today? Great. All right, out the door. Like, yeah, the single worst meeting ever. Yeah.
Might be for the women to show you how it's done.
Well, you won't let us in, so we don't know. Yeah, we can't get in.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, Tony, as much as we're joking about it, as the ambassador of the cruise and as the cruise that really is your legacy, it's got to mean a lot to you to see 50% of your crews, invited to something special that they enjoy the way they do. The women's seminar is unique and it is a great event.
Well, no question about it. I mean, there's a known fact that women make up most of the cruises in the world. I mean, they're extremely important. Angela does a marvelous job. I mean, I remember when she first started doing it, and I'm like, so how was it? She said, well, some showed up, but it's getting better, and now you can't even get into place. So it took some time to grow and build, and I think she's been a marvelous ambassador. And even she's got these little things going on, and she's got her own show, Pillow Talk, and the whole thing. And she does very, very well with motivating women to really talk about things that are very important.
Well, Angela, you mentioned something a moment ago. You said, there's nothing like having good girlfriends. And I think that rings true for the cruise, and maybe you can talk about it a little bit. People come back year after year. So it's not like it's a brand new group of women every year. There is a core that's been there year after year after year. So you are truly building a girlfriend, and I don't mean to demean it by saying a girlfriend group, but you're building a great core group of women. And yes, you get some new every year, but tell us a little bit about the audience and kind of what you see year to year.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it's true. I get a lot of repeat women at the seminar, and they tell other people who are at the seminar. A lot of the women that I've seen the year before and the year before, they've got more people with them. So they're spreading the word, and I love that. It's grown organically, and Tony's right. In the beginning, it's, I guess people didn't know what it was. They're like, women's seminar on the cruise. What are, what's it going to be? And once they got there and saw what it was, as I said, I'll come up with a topic and we'll get it started, on the panel. And then I just have people raise their hands and I will take the microphone and go out to each person to get them, to say whatever it is they want to say. And it just takes on a life of its own. In fact, I usually come and bring one of my good girlfriends. And I tell them, okay, you can come, but you're going to have to work. When you get to the seminar, you have to be my runner. So,
run that mic.
Yes. And it's so cool. It's hard to describe. And I know you can't be there because unfortunately you're guys.
I'm not allowed. I get it. Yeah.
But
Rub it in, Angela. Tell us how great it is. Gee.
So great. It really is. And I hope it's around for years and years to come. It's so special. I know the women, through their teary eyes. I mean, and it's not always a cry fest. They're tears of joy. They're people are happy to be able to share some things that are just weighing down on them and they've not been able to share. As I said, the girlfriends are so important in your lives, but I don't take for granted that everyone doesn't have a network of girlfriends. And so imagine you're on this cruise with your boo and you don't have any girlfriends and you're going along and you're having a great time. But maybe, as Jerry pointed out, we all are going through something. It might be a little different. My something might be something different than your something, but it's something. So imagine being able to just, check into this women's seminar and then, wow, you can talk about this and not only bring it up, but have a support group to have your back.
Well, I love that we have it. I love that it's part of our cruise. And to echo what Tony said, you really are. We couldn't ask for anyone better to host it. You are the best at what you do. And let's have a little look. We don't have the full session, but we have about 15 minutes of it. So let's go have a look at, give people a peek at what the women's seminar is on the Soul Train cruise.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning and welcome to the Women's Seminar. I'm Angela Stribling. This is my favorite thing to host every year. This is our time. And the whole idea is just for us to communicate, talk about what's going on in our lives, what's important to us, what women really want, considering the climate, where we are politically, just our personal lives, all of that. And I brought some real special friends along to help with that conversation. Now, I've got to bring this lady out first. She is a diva in every positive sense of the word. We go back so far, way before I met her. I just felt like she was my friend in my head because I would have my little hairbrush and try to sing all the songs of hers that I could. I know all the words to all of her songs. She's Grammy nominated. She's won all kinds of awards and is still out there doing her thing strong. We love her, and please give her a welcome. It's her first time at the Women's Seminar. I think it's her first time on the Soul Train cruise. Anyway, let's welcome her, Jean Carne. Yes, bravo. Wherever you want to sit. And also the only female Soul Train dancer who is on this ship. And she is amazing. I know you remember Madam Butterfly from Soul Train. Put your hands together for the beautiful Pat Davis. And as you'll see, we have another chair, and that's because we'll be joined by Regina Bell. But you might have noticed there was always something going on the ship. So there's going to be this great gospel concert, and they were all in rehearsals. In fact, Jean was so sweet to get hers done first so that she could be here. But Regina Bell is going to join us as soon as possible. But let's get started. I want to just hear from you. How are you both doing? How are you?
I'm wonderful. How's everybody? Everybody's smiling, so this is a good day.
And this is your first Soul Train cruise, right?
Soul
My
Train
first Soul
cruise.
Train, right.
Both
Correct.
of us, actually, yes.
Oh, good, okay.
Right.
So, for those who haven't been keeping up with you personally, how are you both doing individually in your life?
I'm wonderful. God is so good all the time.
Yes.
So this is my first time being invited to the Soul Train cruise, and
Oh, she'll be back.
I've had a ball. I mean, literally, because you get to see all your friends perform.
Yeah.
And the schedules are so good that we're not performing at the same times.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love
love
it.
it.
Don't you love it? I thought so.
Some happy faces. And Pat?
I'm enjoying it because currently I'm living in Vienna, Austria. Have lived there 32 years. And I was born in Texas, raised in Los Angeles, and finished growing up in Vienna, Austria. So I'm really enjoying you guys. And we speak German in that country. So it took me a while to exchange the English. And I said, they probably, what is going on with her? She's like stumbling with her words. But when I got here and felt all the love that is here, and it's just wonderful. God is so great that he brought this together. And I'm like, as one lady said, she said, you're on a destiny. And I just picked that up this morning. Thank you, sister, for that word.
As women, we have to wear so many different hats in our lives. Professionally, personally, we're the ones who are holding everything in, trying to keep everybody together. And what I love about opportunities like this is that we can just talk about what's really going on, what's really important in our lives. Last year, I brought up the fact that my mom is, she has her memory loss. So, it's emotional because we're becoming our parents, to our parents, right? And it's real.
Yes.
So have any of you gone through anything like that?
Absolutely. In the 70s, my Aunt Julia came down with Alzheimer's, and we took care of her for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I more than understand.
Oh.
In fact, I'm the representative for the Delaware Valley Alzheimer's Association. So yeah, we just keep praying for a cure.
Yes. I had this wonderful conversation with Regina Bell when we did the All Access. I don't know how many of you have been coming to the All Good. Thank you. And she is a representative for AARP, and it was amazing. She talked about all of the resources that are available to people. And if you've ever been a caregiver, are there any caregivers here? Yeah, so you know, I mean, it's yes. Okay. This is, especially, I mean, I'm not married, but many people are married. You've got your husband, you've got your kids, and then now you've got to take care of your parents as well. So that is, you know, one of the things that I think as women, we don't get a chance to really talk about that, you know, for people who understand. My sister is the caregiver in my family, and thank God for that, but she, you know, she gets overwhelmed. So, you know, do you guys have any comments, any questions?
Or any suggestions
Or
for dealing
suggestions.
with the burnout and
Yeah.
the overwhelming feelings that you have as a caregiver?
I'm going to come around with my microphone.
You want to take mine?
Nope. Because she probably wants to talk to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am a caregiver, just as you said. I'm a primary caregiver to my mom. She has dementia, and actually, yesterday, Tuesday was her birthday. She's 97 years old. And yeah, yeah. She's such a blessing to us, and I'm so thankful for my sister. My sister is at home with her. She's actually in the hospital right now, and my sister and I, we coordinate. And so I moved in. I left my job. I gave up my apartment to move my daughter and I in with my mom to take care of her. We had a home health aide, but I felt like I wasn't able to have enough quality time with her. And so we gave up the home health aide. And it is very overwhelming. And what I do is that I've joined several support groups. I engage in, I'm a practicing Buddhist, and I've gotten into the practice more as a result of this experience. And I meditate every morning, and I go to 2 support groups. I speak to other friends of mine because at my age we have parents, and it's so similar that a lot of my friends are going through a similar experience. And so self-care is so important. And I'm constantly doing that. I have a gratitude journal that when I get depressed or, you know, looking at my mom, sometimes it's very hard because I look back and listening to the music here, I remember the things that my mother used to love to do and hearing this music. And so being here, it's kind of hard for me because I needed this, and this has been such a blessing to me. But it's also feeling like I want to be home with my mother. So it's putting yourself in a mindset that you're deserving of this, not to feel guilty. Because I think as a caregiver, you do feel guilty. But you have to realize that the person that you're caring for wants you to care for yourself first in order for you to care for them. And to just remember that what you're doing is life-changing for your loved one, and you're doing it for your family and your community, and you're teaching, you know, because I like to get involved in awareness. My sister and I, we also do media awareness for the Alzheimer's Association. So they interview us, and we spread the knowledge because, of course, of people of color, we don't have enough awareness about Alzheimer's and about mental illness overall, because we have it, you know, we think of it as a taboo. We don't get enough resources. We don't know about the services. So it's really about just getting involved more with your community and just spreading the word. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, as a culture, when it comes to mental illness, and it's not always Alzheimer's. Sometimes it's memory loss, dementia. Like in my mom's case, she doesn't have Alzheimer's. And she's healthy. She just has memory loss. And as you can tell, it breaks my heart. I mean, I'm sure all of us, we care about our moms. Someone else had their hand up?
My name is Rita Brown, and I just want to keep it short and say that self-care, of course, is the most important thing. My mom is currently in rehab. She was in the hospital last week before the cruise, so I had to think again about, okay, am I going on a cruise or am I dealing with my mother? And I released and let go and said, she'll be okay in rehab. I called my brother. I said, I need you to keep up with what's going on because I'm making the cruise, because I need it, you know? So, you know, just kind of not feel guilty. to do what you need to do.
Yeah, good for you. And then you'll be better and refreshed when you get back and better attitude because, it's when people have the memory loss, they're saying the same thing over and over and over. And by the end of the day, you're like, I know. But you got to pack your patience. So being able to rejuvenate. Pat?
Can I say something? Never feel guilty. I felt that, and I wouldn't want any one of you guys to feel that way. My mother died of breast cancer. I was living in Vienna, Austria. After her death, I held so much guilt in me because I said, man, maybe I should have been closer to her. Or I was going back and forth, not that I wasn't there at all. But later, I realized God had a plan. And he gave me that rest period of being in Vienna. So please, just embrace what you can with her without draining yourself. Because when God calls you, it's our timing. So never feel guilty. Take that moment because it's for you, it's from God. And I didn't realize that until my mother died because I was like going through it. I was losing my best friend. I was losing everything. I was losing the woman that loved me more than anything, not only a mother, but a best friend because I didn't open up to everybody. I was like this. But we would shop together. We would do things together and be aware when I thought that, no, my mother cannot die of breast cancer. And that took me out, really, because I realized when God calls, it's her time. So never feel guilty. Some kind of way, there's a spiritual connection. When I start looking at my mother at the end, I didn't even see her. She was like gone. I know I was looking at my mother. I was looking into her eyes, but the spirit was already away. It seems like I can't explain it, but the spirit was already with God, with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit. Although she was hugging me and I looked into her eyes, and it's just like she was gone long before she left in the physical. In the physical. So just embrace the moments when you can and never feel guilty. Take the moment for you because it's so draining because we think we have the power to keep them alive.
Yeah.
And that's the most thing that can drain you, that can really take you out. So just let go and let God and just take your moments for you. And I hope that can be of help because I went through it. I went through it.
Yeah, thank you. Jean, any comments?
Well, I understand the guilt as well, because when my Aunt Julia was going through the various stages, there was one period when I had to stay off work for 3 months because she was in one of those constant care homes, and she got to the stage where she would lock her jaws and she wouldn't eat for the nurses. So, and my mother didn't drive, so I had to go to the nursing home for 3 times a day until she got through that in the 3 months, and then she'd eat for anybody. So I understand, but it's so worth the sacrifice. And never, 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 like you said, never, never feel guilty because your best is good enough.
Right.
Hey guys, if you want to see more of some love, some peace, and some soul, check out soultraincruise.com.